The old way of leading is exhausting. Burnout is at an all-time high. And the future? It feels uncertain. But it doesn't have to stay this way. Leadership has changed. It's time to lead differently.
The unforgettable leader. As the CEO, it is your job to build the team internally and externally. You are required to ensure that the business has the assets necessary in order for it to operate. So let's talk about what are some of the characteristics and requirements of being the unforgettable leader that people want to work with, they want to collaborate with. They want to give of their time, their knowledge, their skills and behaviors and talents to be a part of your team, to allow for your vision to come to fruition. Legacy isn't dictated by treatment and titles. It's nice to have the title of the CEO. Sounds good, doesn't it? I agree. I enjoy when people call me the CEO of LT3 Leadership Solutions. But the reality is that is just a title. It's more importantly of how I treat my people. That's the true essence of a leader. You know, when I was little, I'll come clean. I stole 50 cents out of my mom's dashboard in the car to buy me some tater chips. And I was just downright distraught when my mom told me I had to go and tell my dad that I was a thief, that I stole from my mom. Now, mind you, at the time, I was thinking about my stomach that was growling, and I wanted to go to the store and get me some tater chips, and that's what I did. But here's what I will never forget, is having to stand in front of my father and tell my dad that I stole from my mom and hear his words of, "Tyler, I'm disappointed in you." Those words will never leave me. I never stole another thing because those words dug deep in my heart. The same goes for your people. It's how you treat them. They remember that. They remember you being appreciative. They remember the correction, but it's how you correct them. Do you do it in public? Or do you call them in the office, which what you would like to have to be able to have someone correct you? Would you like for the board of your organization to correct you in front of the entire organization? No, you would not. Nor would your people. They want to be treated fair and with dignity and respect. And you owe it to them to give them that dignity and respect as their leader. So remember, legacy is dictated by the treatment, not the title. Effective leaders seek challenges, not echo chambers. You don't want a team of people that are yes people, because you will fail if you do. Yeah, I said it. You will fail if you do. I want people on my team that are going to challenge me, that are going to help me look at a particular item that we're discussing in a different way. Now, in the military, they always say, do it with dignity and respect, do it with tact, be tactful. I got that. But I want people on my team. That's the purpose of having people on your team that has varying expertise in a particular subject to be able to give you as much information as you can to make an informative decision. Remember, you as a CEO, you have bouncy balls and you have crystal balls. Now, the bouncy balls, you can let bounce and they can be delegated. If it falls, okay, we can deal with that. But the crystal balls, as the CEO of your organization, requires for you not to drop those, because if you do, they will shatter, which begins second and third order effects on your business, which will delay your progress. People help you when they challenge you to come with the best outcomes. They test stress your validity of your thought process. Now, I agree with you. This is when ego can get in place and we're like, how dare you? Yeah, dare me. Dare to lead differently. Dare them to question what it is that you are putting forth to them, to make sure that what you are going to launch, that program you want to launch, that coaching program, that training workshop you want to do, that all the wickets have been thought about in order for it to be successful. This is a time when you want challenge. You invite challenge. You invite differing opinions to help you make the best informative decision. Let's talk about the erosion sequence. Leadership is not what you say, it is what you allow. If you like yes people, that's what you're going to crowd yourself with. And when you set that standard, it becomes the standard of your organization, which now becomes a substandard, which is now the new standard. Let me say that again. When you set a standard that is below the standard, it becomes the standard, which is now a new substandard, which does not meet muster. People you need in your corner need to help you understand what is the baseline. Not every decision that has to be made in your organization should require you as the CEO to make it. When you do that, you now create an organization centered on you. What happens when you leave? What happens when you're in the hospital? Like I was last year in February because I had diverticulitis. And I was in the hospital for 3 months. Does my business stop because I'm not there? Or have I empowered my people, the team I've built, to be able to make decisions on my behalf because I have developed them to be able to be critical thinkers? I've empowered them to be able to make decisions, stand flat-footed on that decision, and whatever comes of it, we deal with it. But they have the empowerment, the confidence, the clarity to be able to make that decision on their own. What kind of team are you building? One that you have all the decision-making authority? That if you don't make the decision, nothing happens? That's a building that is about to collapse. I hate to bust your bubble, but I'll bust it anyway. Because that's a building that is going to collapse because it's built around you. And no organization should be built around one single leader. You are the visionary. Everyone takes a piece of that vision, own it as their own, and they run with it. But you, as a CEO, have to empower them to do so. Visibility retains talent, but valuing them multiplies it. Understand who's on your team. Do you know? Do you know what kind of team you want to build? What kind of team does your organization need? If you're just starting out, what do you need? Do you need a VA that can help you with time management? Do you need marketing that can help you with your branding and your visibility? What I call the V3C, your volume, your value, your voice, value, visibility, and credibility. Do you need to be able to have someone who is pitching you for podcasts? so that you can continue to get content and get your voice out there. Who is needed on your team? I want you to think about that for a moment. Who is needed on your team that is directly tied to helping you solve this problem for the community or for an organization to make sure that you show up strong? Those are the things I want you to start thinking about as you build your team. Example, I post daily, consistently, at least 3 times a day, valuable content for those who want to learn about leadership. They can dial into my Facebook, my Instagram, my LinkedIn, and you're going to see Tia's talking about leadership. But I also have someone who creates the slides that I need, the flyers that I want to use, the reels, because that takes time away from my busy schedule. So I create and go out and find those people, those external entities that can help me build my business and sharpen my craft. Who are you thinking about that needs to be on your team? What are you sharing where people will call you out and say they want to be on your team? Are you visible enough that people see the value you bring? Or is it just all about little old you so that you can get the glory? You can get the pat on the back. Is that bringing in revenue? Probably not. So build your team where it's on a firm foundation with people that understand the vision, understand the mission of what it is you desire to do for your business, and are going to help you reach those goals. That are not yes people, that are people that are going to challenge your ideas, challenge your perspectives, help you think more critically, but value those people. Let them know that they are an integral part of the success of your organization. Here are 9 specific actions defined that leaders we never forget. I want you to think about a leader that you've worked for. Look at these 9 things in the area of safety, empowerment, and humanity. Can you call out a leader in your journey that represented these things? A leader who actually listened to what you had to say? That valued what you put forth on the table? A leader who treated people with dignity and respect, the way that they should be treated. A leader who provided structure, who corrected when correction was needed, but also was willing to take correction when they needed it. When's the last time you looked in the mirror and said to yourself, here's my gaps. What I just had a meeting on and my team shared this is actually a gap I need to address. And I'm willing to address it. How many people are on your team that you're trying to keep because you are a little fearful that if they leave, it will show that you have a gap and a hole in your swing? These are just reflective questions I want you to think about as you build your organization to become that unforgettable leader that all people want to kind of get a little piece of you because you're doing it the right way. You're the type of leader that people want to follow. Your influence, your leadership currency is high enough that people are willing to follow you. Because if no one buys into the vision but you're on the island of Patmos by yourself, trying to do any and everything by yourself because you're a micromanager. You're someone who limits themselves in trusting others. You're someone who battles perfectionism because it must be right all the time. These are things I want you to ponder as you think about becoming that unforgettable leader. The unforgettable leader creates a team. You are the atmosphere changer in your organization. You create the atmosphere. You set the pace and the tone of the organization along with your team. But if you do it the right way, you create an ecosystem where people thrive. They're wanting to be a part of your team. You'll have people actually reaching out to you saying, hey, what can I do for you? I see that you're doing this. Can I be a part of it? How can we collaborate together? Because they understand the vision. They understand that you are about addressing that particular pain point that your organization solves. Not just on word value, not just on surface, but you're really dedicated and committed about answering and providing a solution to that problem. And when this happens, in the center, what you see, that's the sweet spot. True leadership is exactly the intersection of unyielding standards and deep humanity. Remove one of these circles, and the ecosystem collapses. Leadership is built on trust. That trust starts with you first trusting yourself to hold those crystal balls and to let the bouncy balls move as they need to and develop your people and your team that needs to be put in place in order for you to build a firm foundation. Lastly, your title may get you into a room, but it's the actions as the CEO and founder of your organization that determines if anyone will follow you. Think about that. Who is willing to follow you? Are you able to explain the vision and why you're doing this and the intended purpose and outcome of why you need to be that unforgettable leader who's making an impact in their community? The unforgettable leader. I'll see you when I see you.